Okay, so I want to do a video comparing the old Switch to the new Switch 2. So first of all, let's take them out of the dock, and we'll talk about the dock in a minute. So here's the old Switch, and here's the old Switch, and here's the new one. So right off the bat, you can tell there's a huge size difference entirely. A huge difference. This is a 7.9 inch screen. This is I don't know, but it's definitely bigger. It's bigger than the OLED too. And another thing, the Joy-Cons come off differently. These are magnetic. These come off with a button on the rail. On these, it's a release module. But these come off with a button. As you can see, they slide on rails. And the connector's in there. And the connector for the Switch 2 is in here. You know, I used to wonder how the Switch connected on here. I didn't realize there was actually connectors down here. I thought they were like wireless sensors or something, but I was wrong. Now let's compare the top real quick. So right off the bat, you can see they have the same thickness. The vents have been changed a little bit. The game card slot is a little different. So yeah, and of course the kickstand is different. This one's better. This one is horrible. The air vent slots have been moved to the bottom. On the Switch 1, they were right here on the back. That's the air vents. Now, the USB port is still the same, but I'm sure it's faster. And there's a top USB port on the top of the Switch, too. That's new. And as far as the speakers concerned, speakers on the Switch 2 are right here. And on the Switch 1, the speakers are smaller and they're not better. And that is a brightness sensor to detect auto brightness. It's moved up here on the Switch 2. So yeah, that's the actual console comparison. The Joy-Cons, I don't have a Switch 2 controller to compare, but the Joy-Cons are different a little bit. They're bigger, of course, and the SLSR buttons are bigger. Check this out. Yeah, way better. Improvement. So let's put them in the dock. Now let's compare the dock. Okay, so Switch 1 dock, you're familiar with it. It's compared to the Switch 2, it is way different in style and design. It's round and curvature. So here's one major difference. The back. On the back of the Switch 1, you have a USB port, HDMI port, and the charger. Let's look at the back of the Switch 2 dock. On the back of the Switch 2, we have Ethernet, HDMI, and USB-C. Same ports, except the USB has been swapped for a Ethernet. Now, an exception here is the OLED had a Ethernet port. But this is supposed to be a gigabyte port, but I'm not getting gigabyte speed. But it's faster than the other Switches, though. And another thing is, this comes off. It's removable completely. Okay, now let's compare the cables. So it has the same HDMI cable, as you can see. The difference is this is an HDMI, a regular HDMI 2.0 for regular HD. And this is an HDMI high-speed, ultra-high-speed HDMI 2.1 cable, meaning it can do 4K and 120 hertz. It's the same looking cable, except it's high-speed, ultra-high-speed. They didn't even put a label for ultra-high-speed, but it is. You can tell it looks better too and more advanced. Just don't get them mixed up because you don't want to mix up the wrong cable and not be able to support 4K. And another thing is the power adapter has been changed. First of all, let me grab them out real quick. Here is the Switch 1 power adapter. Switch 1 power adapter is all in one piece. And Switch 2 is a little different actually. It's removable. It's USB-C to C cable. And it's removable. And it's portable. So yeah, there's the Switch dock. Now let me hook my Switch charger back up. You can also use this to charge your Switch on the go, portable mode. Now let's hook these back up. Now we're going to compare the God, I hate putting the Switch in. There we go. Now let me plug my Switch up. No Pokemon were harmed in the making of this video. No, I'm just kidding. I had to say that as a joke. Okay, now let's go to the old Switch settings real quick. Let's put the controllers in the Joy-Cons. Okay, let's look. So in the Switch 1, you have these. Now the Switch 2 is different. If I can get it to switch. Hold up. So on the Switch 2, you have completely rearranged tiles. Now let's go to the settings. So something that's changed in the settings would have to be this setting. Hold up. Yeah, there's no GLGR button. And also, Switch 2 has mouse controls, mouse sensitivity. You can hook up a USB camera and such. Now let's go to, this is what I wanted to go to. You have 4K support on the Switch 2. Switch 1 does not have that. .1080p to max. No 120 hertz anything. Not even, well, there's surround sound. So yeah. No, I don't want to test it. Now let's go on the Switch 2 and see the new settings. You can check the dock output. Has HDR, has 120 hertz. HDR and everything. And that's it. Now let's compare the controllers, Joy-Con, with the Connect cable. Or here's the Joy-Con's difference. And now for the straps. These are the Switch 1 straps, and the Switch 2 straps are in here. Yep, that's pretty much all the comparison I can do. I'm at the 10-minute max of making this video. Alright, that's all.